Hello viewers, you're watching Marriage Diaries on Lifestyle TV. You are warmly welcome. I want you to sit and relax, enjoy this program of today. My name is Nyonozaze Rebecca Atakuma, and with me in the guest I have Elder Isaiah Agbalenyo. You are warmly welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Elder is an elder from Church of Pentecost, Amahia English Assembly. So, Elder, you are warmly welcome once again.
Thank you.
Okay. So, on today's program, we want to talk about communication in marriage. Communication in marriage, how to communicate with our partners in marriage to avoid problems or to enhance the growth of our relationship or in the marriage. So I would like to ask Elder, is communication very important in our marriages?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to interact with your audience. Yes. We are very, very appreciative of the Anadanas. Yes, first of all, for us to look at whether communication is very important, we need to know what communication is. So I would say, basically, when we are saying communication, that is an exchange of an information, or the exchange of an information from one medium or a person to the other. Or we can better still say that it is the receiving and then what? Sending or giving of an information from one end to the other, or a person to the other. So coming from that background and then zeroing it into marriage, it is something that is very, very, very important. Yes. So yes, so with that...
So communication is very, very important in marriage. Without communication, there is no marriage.
Yes. So there's no receiving or sending of information. Either from the husband to the wife or from the wife to the husband.
Okay, communication is communication. So why is communication that very, very important in our marriages?
Okay. Thank you very much. I would say communication is communication, just as you have said, but there are mediums. When an information is sent, just as I have spoken now, we have two things in it: how to encode and decode such an information. And then we have means by which that information travels. And we either use gestures or through the voice or speaking, and then other mediums that seems fit or deem fit by the two couple or the encoder and the decoder. So with that, it makes it so important because when I speak, the way the other person at the other end, let's say the husband is speaking, how the wife understood it would make the communication very, very effective and then well understood in the marriage. So if it is not well understood, or it is not the communication, the means, the medium which it traveled through, if the other partner did not receive it well, then it becomes another thing. And most of the happenings of marriage depends on communication.
All right. To add to it, I want to ask again, do we have a good communication and poor or bad communication in marriage?
Definitely,
with
yes.
Practical examples.
Okay, definitely, yes. There are good communication and then there are bad communication. Yes, but before I come to this, let me quickly mention this, that there are 5 major components that makes marriage. And one of them is communication. Yes. We have trust, and then transparency, communication, financial issues, and others.
All right.
And communication plays a vital, if it is not the second, then it would have been the first in marriage.
Okay.
So we have good communication. That is your expression, and then the way you are able to make you, the sender, either the wife or the husband, makes your message or information understood by the other person.
Okay.
And then it becomes very, very good when the effect or the decoder or the receiver, which is either the wife or the husband, acts correctly or good or positively to that message or communication that has flown from one another.
Okay.
Yes. So it is very, very important because it keeps the marriage. It makes everything the couple or the husband and the wife wants to undertake becomes very effective.
Okay.
They are able to move towards one direction and they are able to understand each other.
Okay.
And for them to understand, that's the husband and the wife understanding each other, it will only take a very good communication for that to come to bear. Even for them to have a misunderstanding and understand or disagree and agree, it will take a very good communication. Most of the time, there are things that would come up. For example, housekeeping money.
Okay.
Because the man is peeved and gets up at dawn or at whatever time and was leaving home, he left the money either in the pocket or at the same place he has been leaving it.
Money, okay.
But maybe when he's leaving it, he leaves about 2-3 and have interpretations to them. Okay. This is to be for the children, this is to be for this and that. But because of that annoyance and not well explaining through writing or whatever, the wife may also see the money and then leave it there. So whatever that money is to be for, she saw it on the table. I said, hey, my husband may mean that this money should be used for the children or for the house or for electricity bill or whatever. So it becomes so, the decoding has become so many. The wife was not able to encode or give a good decoding to what the money the husband has left.
Okay.
So it makes it so difficult for her to undertake any action. And at the end, the husband comes home and begins to complain. I left money for you to do this, that.
But initially, he didn't make any statement about the money, so she left it there.
Yes.
So why come complain now?
He also, at the back, thinks that, oh, when I leave such an amount, maybe the housekeeping money is so much an amount every day or every week or every month.
Okay.
So leaving such an amount, he also decoding that he has communicated. I've left the money. At the end of the month, I give 200, I give 1,000, I give 2,000. So it's over there. The woman also saw it and said, oh, this money, I don't know what it is. She didn't even touch it to even count. Or to check the money to know how much. And even if it is 2,000, which is the housekeeping money, maybe that time round, it's meant for another thing. So there is no proper encoding and decoding here. So each of them are now, what is happening is as if, I think it should be this, I think, and that could even be the basis of the collapse of the marriage. So it is very good to encode and then to decode. Then secondly, it is very important, communication is very, very important based on the means of expression, the tone or the gesture.
I was coming to that.
The gesture. Just the tone alone can make the person go off board. And that same word or means or what you want to communicate can be done another way. And then will be well understood.
Okay.
So it depends on how we approach the communication in the marriage. That will make it also very, very effective.
Okay. So looking at what you said, it's like that is the bad aspect of poor communication in marriage, because a husband leaving money on the table without adding good report or what the money should be used for, just left it there and then assuming everything will be good.
Yeah.
Or the money will be well managed, but end up to be something else. So can we talk a bit more about good communication also in the marriage, with the examples added to it?
Yeah, so, for example, just getting up at dawn, giving your wife a peck, and then a good morning.
Okay.
Rubbing some hand. So I talk of the means. So
Yes.
it depends on how both of you would want to build it. Yeah. So you are trying to make come flowing from your within. So rub some hand behind her,
Okay.
and then ask how are you feeling, and what have you. So then from there, going to work. Let me use the same example.
Okay.
You beckon your husband, your wife,
Yeah.
and then say, "Oh, honey," or "lady." I used to call my wife K.
Okay.
And I have my reason for calling her
All
K.
right. That's the pet's name.
Oh well. Coming from school,
Okay.
we have the constant factor,
All
and she's
right.
the constant factor in my life.
Wow.
So I call her K.
Okay.
And,
That's good.
and fortunately or unfortunately, yeah, it's fortunate
Yeah.
because she's called Kafui,
Wow.
and that's her middle name.
Okay.
So,
So
and
the
most of
K-
my friends are used to Mami K, Mami K.
That's
So
good.
that is K. So, K, with a nice, Bekono, please come here.
Yeah.
Or please, I'm already set up.
Yeah.
She comes closer and said, "Oh, today there is nothing much, but this is what I have.
Yeah.
And I would want you to manage it for the children,
Okay.
yourself, and then for the home. I know it will not be that sufficient, or it is not that much, but just try and manage so that we'll see what happens the following day." I don't think with such word, and then even with a smile and what have you, that wife would go off board. Yes. He knows how much you earned.
Yeah.
And that's another aspect, being transparent. So he knowing how much you earned with the with money and bringing that on board, I think, and there are other things that would be on board as well.
Okay.
So you bringing it that way, your wife will not reject it.
Yeah.
She will definitely understood, and then even also tap you at the back, said, "Oh, okay, go and come on time.
Yes.
I love you."
Wow.
And that is it.
That's so sweet. That's a good communication out there. So, what if your husband just comes, or anything you say, and then there's a straightforward answer, maybe to your wife, and then anything you tell your wife, she's like, "No," "Yes," or your husband, "No, I don't know," or "Honey, what should I cook today?" Anything. Can you talk a little more about such communications in our marriages?
Okay, thank you very much. I will not say I'm naive about this. When there is a hitch up or there's a challenge,
Okay.
when I even call my wife, she will go like, yes. So even those gestures or quick way of communicating should tell you that there is a challenge somewhere. And then you need to start digging.
Okay.
At least coming this far, 10 years already in marriage.
Okay.
When my wife comes from certain angles, I know that there's a challenge somewhere. And what I need to do is to dig to that. What is actually making this lady give such an answer or communicating to me that way? Then I need to work on that. So the quick answers might have an implication.
Okay.
Yes, she's communicating to you, or your husband is communicating to you that there is something wrong somewhere.
Okay.
In another breath, in the case of a man or the husband or the wife, maybe coming from work or from a place, and then with such sharp answers, there could be something that went on there. Maybe somebody or certain thing or something has provoked him or her. So, and maybe he or she is not in the mood of communicating or wanting you to know. So he is not even aware those who are around him, whether the wife or the husband. So it could be that sharp. But when you get closer, oh lady, okay, why is it that you just came home, I asked you a question and it is that. When it comes the second time, personally I'll withdraw.
Okay.
Take time, whatever I will do, go attend to it. And then later on, come back. Normally, being a Christian, let me come that way.
Okay.
I would definitely pray, oh God, what is happening? Give me the way through.
Yeah.
How should I approach her? And then, when I take the next step, if he doesn't, then I would have to wait again. Then dawn, I will approach.
Okay.
And definitely before the daybreak, that communication, good communication must come back. And then those sharp ones and other gestures will be put to a halt.
Okay. So this means that when there is a poor or bad communication in the marriage, things has to be worked out.
Yes, definitely.
Things has to be worked out for the good one to come back.
Yes.
Good communication.
Sure.
Okay.
My wife is her temperament type.
Okay.
If you don't get closer to her that much, then it will travel a long way.
It will escalate.
Yes. So quickly I will need to calm
down
and then make sure we are having that good communication.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And even sometimes you see that as we are discussing, even she can be quite true. When you ask, oh, are you said, I'm listening. And she can be quite through. And after you are done, she said, okay, thank you, I've heard. She gets up and go. It means the root is not yet tackled.
No,
so you need to find it and then tackle the root. When the root is being uprooted from that bad communication or what is making her communicate towards you badly, then you're able to come back to your good communication.
Yeah. Wow, that's so lovely. That's so interesting. So we want to know, are there different types of communication? Yes. Or it's only verbal? In marriage, I think we can go in extra miles apart from verbal.
Yeah, so I think basically we have two types of communication. That's the verbal and non-verbal. Okay. Yes, so I think depending on the situation, by the grace of God, myself and my wife, we can speak about 2, 3 or some multiple languages. Okay. So when we are with the children and we want to communicate certain things for them not to understand, we switch language. Okay. Because they are just young and they may not be able to understand that, and we communicate and off we go. Sometimes we have 1 or 2 gestures that we use to speak to each other. Yes. And all those things I think is very, very fruitful and helping the marriage. Okay. Yes. So that when my wife does that gesture among or in the midst of people, I know that this is what she meant. Okay. Yes. And when maybe it can be a look or whatever, the moment that gesture comes up, then I need to know I understood it and have to take precaution or do whatever she's trying to communicate. Okay. Likewise myself. So both helps in so many ways. And in marriage, I don't think the two any can outweigh each other. Okay. Especially with the women, they even like gestures. When it comes to sexual life and what have you, yes. They would want the gesture, the touching, and then you trying to, and I think even hand brings comfort. Sometimes when you hold, oh, it's okay, and then, oh, so sorry, it brings that. So sometimes the both can go. Okay. The other time, the non-verbal, the gestures can talk, and then at another breath, the communication
Maybe
or the
eye contact.
yes, the speaking or the verbal can also do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to find out, there was something I wanted to ask, but it's like you touched there a little bit.
Okay.
Should sex be communicated in marriage, or since I'm the man and I'm coming, my wife Kay is there, so she should be ready for me at any time, in the morning or afternoon or evening, because when I come, I know she's just for me. I've paid her bride price, so nothing should be communicated. Or should I communicate before coming to her? What do you think about that?
This question. Yes. In fact, men believe that so far as the bride price is paid, and because of how they are made, at any time it can trigger.
Okay.
But we are still learning, though.
Yeah.
So basically, you realize that women are not to that. They would want to have a lot of communication, and through whatever means, the gesture, or the non-verbal or the verbal. Even some as early as possible, some from dawn, they would have to know that, hey, yes. And most at times, women, I would have to tap you at the back for this.
Okay.
Even if a wife would want to, or is in the mood, would want to make love, she would communicate it non-verbally.
Okay.
Before you get to the home or the house from work or wherever you are coming from, there will be some traces.
Okay.
You will see a sign, one or two things telling you. Even if not at all, before she gets to bed, you will see her. There are things she will put
She'll
on
get
and
into
other
mood.
hand. Then you realize that, yes. So all those things are communication.
Maybe
but
she may even call during the day to check on you.
yes. So, but to we men, sometimes you are even not in the mood, but the moment you get back and then with some hairstyle, that day the woman is already thinking about certain things, but with the hairstyle, hey, this woman, my wife is looking so fresh. And then it started communicating.
She's looking so fresh, which means with this, you have to tell her something. Like, hey, sweetheart, today you're looking so fresh.
Yes.
Yeah, then I think by saying that, you are already preparing the way.
In fact, and personally, I'm not good at that, but I have to learn it. And I've learned it to a certain level, yes. And paying compliments is something I don't normally do, but I
think it's not only you, most men.
Sure. But to me, I'm very frank.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That I'm not good at it.
Women are good in that area.
Especially even when she dresses and she's moving out. I've seen that the thing is nice, but
you can't say it.
so now my children are those teaching me, because when I put on anything, Daddy, you are looking good. Then I also say, okay, you're also looking sweet. And Mommy, everybody.
Yes.
And now I think at least I'm doing better as compared to. So it's also a means of communication.
Okay.
So we men, most often, the moment he sees the dress or certain things coming home, maybe the the wife's mind is not even there.
Yeah.
But because of that, you are even communicating to yourself in your mind that, hey, this woman, she's looking fresh and other things. So the moment you get to bed, you are already tapping and then you want to. Although that is also a form of communication, it should have been a little earlier by appreciating her, getting closer to help her and other things, to prepare her mind, and then even whispering that, oh, today I would want to, or what have you, so that the wife is a bit positioned.
Okay.
Okay. So that when such amends is being made at when you are in bed, she will not be able to resist or whatever.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We want to also know, can there be lack of communication in marriage? And maybe if there's a poor or total lack of communication in marriage, what are the effects that's the lack of communication brings into the home or into the relationship?
Okay. Lack of it is that both wouldn't want to communicate, so they get up, and then the lack of it may I think there could be a communication, but the means.
Okay.
Because if it is lack, I get up, put money down, and then I leave. I've
Someone
communicated.
will not put money down, will not tell you what you have done, just woke up from bed, bath, brush, and take the car key off.
Then that one is very, very serious. Then that means there's no communication at all. That is the lack of it.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, then that marriage is falling on rock. Yes, it's falling on rock with the sense that whatever the other person does, you are not able to read or even understand. Information from the husband to the wife, there's nothing known. So the husband coming home can bring rice. The wife has also gone to buy rice. So that rice becomes so excessive. And maybe you would have needed another thing to add up, whereby we are not able to get.
Yeah.
So, and from that time, even if the wife is sick, you wouldn't know the husband is sick, or even the children, or a relative.
Yeah.
So, and even somebody can be dying. Yes. Somebody can be dying. You can all be on the same bed because of lack of communication. The other person is going through a trauma and other things, but he or she is not able to communicate because there is that fear because of maybe some happenings. So the man or the husband will not be able to attend. And then the woman also not knowing is also just sleeping. And then before you realize, you wake up early in the morning, your wife or your husband is gone. I watched something somewhere. The man or the husband and the wife just had a little quarrel, and then the man took his pillow and left the bedroom, and because of how the wife was shouting and then agitating, moved to the hall to sleep. The woman also, or the wife, slept in the bedroom, but was an asthmatic patient, so she got up in the night, was attacked. The inhaler couldn't work. So she was shouting, calling the man. The man covered the head with pillow, not to listen. Shouting, hitting the door. He refused to attend to her. The following day, she saw the woman lying on the floor. Bypassed, went to bath, prepare, wore everything ready for work. Then she started calling he started calling the wife. When he called, she couldn't respond. Later on, she would have to tap her again. He said we should stop that joke. Then she realized that the wife was a bit cool. Then now she tried holding her and then realized that there's something serious. And saw the inhaler bottle in front. And now you are now shouting, calling that, hey, what have I done? So lack of it could bring a lot of things. Even the bad one is bringing a lot of unpleasant or making the home uncomfortable. How much more the lack of it? Yes, it is putting the marriage on rock. And that marriage may not see the light of day.
Okay, so to sum it all, we want to come to an end. The benefits of good communication. Just sum it all for us.
Okay. Benefit of good communication. One, it enrich the marriage.
Wow.
It make both the wife and the husband cleave to each other because they are able to understand. It makes vision clearer. It makes the focus and whatever we want to do, even in a day, a seconds of the marriage, well elaborated. And then it also takes fear of the way because anything the husband is able to share, the wife also shares. So, in fact, it will bring that bonding.
It's true.
And then it makes them one, just as the Bible said. So that wherever the other person is, if there is an issue, she would or he will definitely communicate. And then it makes the two of them understand each other and then forge ahead. planning and all other things become so simple and easy in the marriage.
So good communication promotes and makes the marriage very lively.
Sure.
Thanks so much, Elder Isaiah Agbalenyo from E.T. Boy English Assembly, Church of Pentecost, Amahia Assembly. God richly bless you for coming. To our lovely viewers, we thank you so much for today's program, of having time to watch today's program. I'm Nyonuzazen Rebecca Takuma, your host for Marriage Diaries, as we always bring it to you. And I would like you to like the story or the video, send in your comments, and also share. I would like you to subscribe. That's the most important one. Subscribe and share our video to all other social media handles. God richly bless you.